T. Burns. He's gonna continue talking. We go through a series called Make for More. So give it up for him.
It's been a high meeting so far, so hopefully this is hype too. Thank you, Sarah Lee, for that introduction. Like she said, my name is Taylor Burns. I'm on staff here. I'm an intern right now, so I graduated from UGA this past May, and like most seniors did not want to leave Athens, because who does? So I figured I would stick around for another year and work on crew staff, so it's been awesome so far. But let me go ahead and pray for us before we jump in and go to what we're talking about tonight. Heavenly Father, I pray for your presence tonight, God. I pray that you'd be in this room, Lord, that you would move people's hearts, Lord, that your Spirit would be present to take distractions away, Lord, that you would speak through me, God, that these would be your words and not my words, Father, that you would be faithful in having your word go out, Lord. Your word doesn't return void, so I pray that you would be here tonight, and that you rest your Spirit here tonight, and that we know you more deeply through tonight, and that we love you more deeply because of it. In Christ's name, amen. So before we start Made for More, that's what we're talking about tonight. So we're talking about Made for More than the American dream. So I think what would be helpful before we start, before we get into the passages we're going through and Jesus has to say about it, take a few seconds, think about, close your eyes if you need to. You got freedom here. I want you to go through, like, what is the American dream? Is it a lot of success? Is it a big car? Is it living in a certain suburbs, big house? Is it the kind of job you have? Go ahead and get in your mind, what is it that I think is the American dream? Or what do most people think the American dream? And that'll be helpful in keeping your mind throughout the night as we talk about this. So if you have a phone with a Bible or your Bible on you, flip to Luke 12, 13 through 21. It'll be helpful to have it in front of you because we're going to go kind of all over the place. It'll be hard to follow on the screen. So I'll go ahead and read through it for us, and then we'll go step by step and walk back to the passage. This is cool because it's a passage I think that Jesus kind of steps into. I mean, this was 2,000 years ago that Jesus is talking about this, and it kind of steps right into our idea of the American dream even today, which is kind of wild to think about. I mean, 2,000 years ago, and still applies. So Luke 12, verse 13. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Man, who made me a judge or arbitrator over you?" And he said to them, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." And he told him a parable, saying, "The land of a rich man produced plentifully. And he thought to himself, what shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops." And he said, "I will do this. I will tear down my barns and build larger ones. And there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, rest, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "Fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God." So let's walk through this. First thing that happens here, verse 13. We see a dude come to Jesus and call him teacher and ask him for a ruling, essentially, on this inheritance thing he's got going on. So he's recognizing Jesus' authority in front of all these people and saying, "Hey, teacher, I need you to talk to my brother and tell him to divide this inheritance with me." And then look at Jesus' response. Nothing to do with the inheritance at all. First he asks him, "Who made me a judge or arbitrator over you?" And then he calls out this covetousness. So Jesus looks at this dude, sees the service level question of, "Hey, teacher, I need you to come tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me," and says, "No, what we're actually going to talk about here is your covetousness." So we have a greedy guy to start with from the jump. I mean, when you really look at it, it's not, I mean, Jesus lays out the principle for us immediately. He ruins the punchline at the end. Verse 15. He said to them, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." So we're talking about covetousness. I think it's kind of a churchy word, or it's just an old-timey word, but the best way to think about it, and the whole, what we're talking about tonight, hinges on it. We're talking about the American dream. Covetousness is just simply excessively or inordinately desirous of something. So if you're just over the top, that's the ultimate thing, and if I just get that, that's all I need. That is what, when you're thinking of covetousness, think of greediness. That's what we're talking about here. And so we see this in this guy, this greediness, this covetousness. And I would say that the surface level is agreed, but the lie that he is really believing when he's asking Jesus of this is that his life is made up of and will be increasing quality and contentment and happiness and security and comfort if he were to have Jesus give him this inheritance. If he were to have the ruling go in his favor, and if he were to get more money. That's what he's looking at Jesus. I mean, he's got Jesus in front of him right now. This is post-Jesus feeding the 5,000. So Jesus fed 5,000 people, and this dude gets a chance to talk to him, and the one thing he wants out of Jesus is for him to tell his brother, hey, divide the inheritance with me. So you see this greediness and this lie that this dude is believing, man, if I can just get this inheritance, then I'll be happy, and I'll be comfortable, and I'll be secure, and I'll finally be able to relax. His heart is saying, it'd be better for me if I had more money than if I did right now. And I think a lot of us believe that in this room. America believes that. We hear it all the time, all over campus and in this world. I think of an example for me, because he's talking about, notice here he says, he doesn't say money, he doesn't say one's life, or he doesn't say take care and be on your guard against money or success. He says covetousness. So this over-desiring thing, he says all covetousness. So we can covet after more things than just money, and I think a personal example that hits close to home is UGA football. You can ask my sister, you can ask anyone that knows me, I covet the Dogs winning a national championship more than like most things on this earth. And I mean, last year, my senior year, after what happened in January on 2nd and 26th, I mean, my whole heart and mind was saying, man, if we could have won that, Dominic Sanders comes over the top and picks that ball off, I'm so much happier. I'm so much better. I can finally rest and relax. I've been doing this thing with Georgia for 22 years now, it feels like, and I've lost like thousands of years of my life, it feels like, because of it. So I was thinking, man, if I could just have Georgia win the national championship, then I'll be happy. So covetousness does not just span money, but I think that's a lot of what we see in this world. That's a lot of what we see on this campus. That's a lot of what we see preaching culture. So I want y'all to also think about, what is that thing that you're coveting? What is that thing that you're believing, man, if I just had that? It doesn't have to be money or possessions or anything like that, but I think a lot of times it is, and like I said earlier, it's crazy that Jesus speaks to this dude 2,000 years ago, and the same story is true for most of culture today. So Jesus not only gives us the point straight up from the beginning, but then he walks us through a parable. So he's not letting us get out with just, here's the point, be done. So he told them this parable, saying, the land of a rich man produced plentifully. And he thought to himself, what shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops. So we have a guy in the beginning that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. We have an intelligent farmer, a rich farmer, a dude who runs up into a logical problem. He had a bountiful harvest and had too many crops, too much stuff that he couldn't store, so what was he going to do? This made this a logical problem. And I don't think that Jesus takes issue with this intelligent farmer coming up against this problem. I think the issue that Jesus takes with this in the heart of the farmer is what we're about to see in these following verses. So he comes against this problem, and then he says, what shall I do? Or he says, what shall I do, for I have nowhere to store my crops? And he said, I will do this. And notice the pronouns here. I will tear down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. So all these I's. I will do this. I will take care of this. I will do this next. I think really what Jesus takes exception with is, do you have it up here? Yeah. The soul. You have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, be merry. So the farmer is saying, he's not saying to himself, man, once I get all these goods, I can go buy an ATV, or I can go buy an RV. It's not the goods that he's expecting just for his body, just to improve his life itself. He's saying your inner soul, his inner soul, the thing that's unrest and the thing that is constantly just churning inside of you, and is not restful, and it's just this discontentment, and it's just like feeling of, man, I'm not made for this, I'm made for more than this. He's saying that, man, the trick for my soul is if I can just get more goods, if I can just get bigger barns and more grains and more whatever, then I'll finally be able to tell my soul, rest. My soul will finally be able to just exhale and be okay. And I think objectively, obviously we know that Jesus is talking against this, but think about it for a second from our perspective. I mean, how sweet does a farmer's life sound? He just had a great harvest. He can now relax for the entire rest of, it sounds like forever. It sounds like he's good for the next couple of years. And he finally doesn't have to worry and toil and worry about the harvest. He can just sit and relax and be comfortable. And I think to me that sounds just like the American dream of retirement and of doing really well and of getting success and having the big house. And I think you really see it. And I'll preface all this by saying I graduated from Terry. Terry is an incredible education. I'm going to speak a lot to Terry because that's my personal experience with it. And I'm sure you feel it, whether you're in Terry or not, across this campus. And again, I don't think it's necessarily the administration of Terry that is creating this problem or creating this kind of culture. I think it's just one of the students that are attracted to Terry. So don't hear me bashing Terry, don't tell your professors on. But when we think about Terry, you come in and it's the same I statements. Man, man, I'm gonna make good grades so I can get into Terry, and then I'm gonna get the good internship and the consulting and the investment banking, and then I'm gonna make a lot of money at that first high-paying job, and then I'm gonna build up, and I'm gonna be able to go to the suburbs of Atlanta and get a big house, and then by 55, I'll be able to retire. And all this stuff may be hard, and I may not like it much right now, but once I can just get to the place where I can retire, then I'll be able to say, man, soul, rest, you can relax, you can be okay now. You can finally, after all this toil and this unrest, soul, the inner thing, you can be fine now. And I think that's a lot of surface level things, and it's always been a lot of surface level things, but I think the real promise that we're chasing after, what we really want, what we really desire, is not just goods for goods, but we want the security and the comfort and the happiness that we believe is going to come with all these goods. I mean, Jesus says it right here, one's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. So we want the abundance of possessions to increase our life. And what are we really chasing after? We're chasing after comfort and security and happiness, or at least that's what I would put forth. And he's believing this lie that the happiness that we have is going to come from external things, not from internal things. So the happiness is going to come from all this just doing and toiling over and over and over again. All the I will statements, I will do this, and I will do that, and I'll make it, and then I'll finally be able to relax, and then I'll be able to rest and be happy. So what external thing are we believing in? What external thing are we thinking or coveting after that, man, if I just had that? And I know for all of college, for me, it was, man, if I just got to that good job, or if I just made a good grade on that test. And that test comes, and you make a good grade, maybe, and it's never as satisfying as you think it is. And it's just over and over and over again. I go, I've got to get this. I've got to be more successful. And I think you see it all across this campus, and you see it all across this world. And Jesus speaking directly into it. So I've got a stage set. This dude, logical problem, runs into it. His solution for it is I'm going to build up more barns. Jesus doesn't necessarily take exception with that, but he takes exception with him trying to minister to his soul with more goods and more stuff. And so what is God's response to him? Let's look at verse 20. So God says to him, "Fool, this night your soul is required of you. And the things you have prepared, whose will they be? So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God." So, preparing for all this, first talk on stage with the bright lights, I had to read a couple commentaries, trying to figure out what was going on here. And the one thing I came across I thought was pertinent was fool. So fool is just someone that is disregarding or disbelieving in God. So God is saying, hey, all this I will statements and all this I'm building up for statements, you disregarded me, you didn't even think about me. And what happens to him? His soul is required of him. He dies that night, or the Lord requires the soul of him into heaven. And so he's gone. So he did all this stuff and toiled and did all this stuff to get to the American dream and be able to retire and relax and have his soul rest. And the next thing you know, he's gone. I think there's a lot of examples that you probably think of that you've seen in your life or that you've noticed before. The most pertinent one for me, the one that hits close to home graphically, honestly, is my grandfather. So my grandfather was a radiologist in Atlanta for, I don't even know how many years. And it was about 2 years before retirement, and him and my grandmother had always planned that when they retired, they were going to go travel the world. And I mean, he worked hard, he had to work on the weekends, but finally once they retired, they needed to be able to rest, and his soul be able to rest, and they could go travel the world together. And tragically, about a year or two before my grandfather retired, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And all this stuff that they thought they were going to be able to do kind of just got washed out from under them. And all of these plans, these I will statements, what they've been working for were just gone. There are a lot of examples like that that are more, or that are less severe and less tragic than that. But I think one thing that I want you to hear, after we've been harping on this so much, and a precursor that I think is as important as it gets in this talk, is that what God is not saying, what I'm not trying to say, is that money, success, possessions, comfort, security, happiness are bad things. God is not saying that. God is not saying that you can't have that stuff. God is not warning against that stuff. Using your gifts and talents and abilities to excel and crush it in the business world or become a doctor one day and you end up with a lot of money and like stewarding your abilities well, the Lord delights in that, delights in you doing that. But it all hinges on that first thing that we talked about, the first word that we defined, the covetousness, the greediness, the overly desirous, this inordinate desire to get it. That is what the linchpin of what Jesus is talking about. So he's not upset with us accruing those things or doing well, but he is upset when that's our ultimate desire. And I think that's what you see. It's what I saw in my heart a lot in college and even now, what I see a lot on this campus, is this, man, my number one goal, the ultimate thing, if I can just get to retirement, if I can just make that good grade, if I can just get into that internship, then I'll be happy and then my soul can rest. And that's what Jesus is talking about, making that thing the ultimate. And so Jesus gives us the application again. I mean, third time, he's not letting us get out of here. So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. So he's saying a person who only enriches himself and doesn't lay up treasure in heaven is a fool. He's the one that disregarded God, he didn't believe in God. And he's calling us to more than the American dream. He's calling us to more than settling for goods and things and money. Those aren't bad things, but that is the ultimate thing that's supposed to provide your comfort, security, and happiness. Will leave you just wrecked and will leave you empty, honestly. So another thing I read that I thought was really good about this passage to end this little section right here is, the commentator said, the man in the story was called a fool for confusing time with eternity, his body for his soul, and what was his for what was God's. And I think this lie that he was believing, that this richness of life depends on the amount of wealth he has, and the external things in life is how his life is going to be better and his soul can rest. I think that lie finds a lot of pertinent examples on campus, and we've been talking about campus a ton. For me, in high school and college, it was final season is a small example of this. I mean, you're at the beginning of finals, and you're cranking down, and you're in the MLC or the SLC, and you're just grinding, and the thought is, man, once I finally just get to the end, once I finish it, and I'm done, I can walk out, and it's summertime, or it's Christmas break, then I'll be able to rest and relax, and I'll be fine. And I know for me, like, there was some of that. I mean, you finish finals and you feel good, and there's a little bit of rest to you. But for me, I always knew that it just didn't quite feel as good as I thought it would. It was never quite as satisfying as I thought it would be. And that's a small example. So, I mean, you could easily think, I mean, that's finals. Of course you don't feel that way. You still have to find a job. You have to make money at some point. Like, there's no way you feel content after finals. To that, I would give the Tom Brady 60-minute interview example. I think it's the best example on this topic that I've literally ever heard. If you're a Greek guy in the room and you had a pledge shotgun, you've probably heard this example at some point. But essentially, there's this 60-minute interview. It's in the early 2000s. So Tom Brady is on his second or third Super Bowl. He's dating a supermodel, I think, at the time, not married to her yet, and is making tens of millions of dollars playing football. And they're going through, they're talking about all his accomplishments, and the interviewer's looking at him, and he's like, Tom, take me through what this means. I mean, Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick out of Michigan that ran a slower 40 than an offensive lineman. And he's making all this money and winning Super Bowl championships. And he's like, tell me what it means, what it feels like. I mean, what is it? I mean, the interviewer's curious as to what does it feel like to be this successful? And Tom's going through all of it, and he's talking about it, and he's saying, okay, I just told you all his successes. Then he gets to the end, and if you watch the video, you can hear his voice crack a little bit. You can hear him get to this level where it's like, and he says, there's got to be more than this, right? There's got to be more. There's got to be more than, I mean, Tom Brady. I don't care if you're a Falcons fan, I don't care who you are. I think we can all agree that Tom Brady is the pinnacle of success. I mean, I think anyone in this room, especially guys, if we could be Tom Brady and have Super Bowl rings and tens of millions of dollars to play football, it couldn't be better. Surely this dude is content and satisfied and is not looking back and saying, it's not enough. But he does. I mean, he says it in the interview. He says, man, it's just not enough. And we need, I mean, this truth that we're made for more than the American dream, we're made for more than chasing after money is so needed in this world. It's so needed on this campus. It's so, I mean, everything around us in this world and our culture screams at us, chase after goods, chase after money, and that's what's going to make you happy. If you can just get more, then you'll be happy. I mean, it is so pertinent. You look at TV ads, Instagram ads. I mean, it's all screaming at your happiness every single day, telling you that, man, if you can just have this thing, if you can just get these clothes, if you can just drive this car and see how it moves through the turns, if you can just get that, then you'll be happy. Then you'll finally be able to rest and relax. And that's screamed at us all the time over, and we're inundated with this. And Jesus, 2,000 years ago, steps into the same culture we have now and says, man, it's not going to be enough. And Tom Brady echoes it. He says, man, it's not going to be enough. So we've seen Jesus warning against not the money, not success, not doing a good job, but warning against his covetousness. Is putting above all else, the ultimate thing is that I need to get X, I need to be able to retire, I need to get this first great job, I need to make this, get grade this test above all. So we've seen that. And so we're at a state of, well, what are we made for then? What's the point? If the culture's telling me all these lies about I need to chase success and wealth and all this stuff, then where do we get to? Where does it leave us? And you may know where we're going because this is a crew meeting, but if y'all will, flip with me to Psalm 16, please. And I'll read that for us real quick. We're running out of time. Psalm 16, verse 8 says, I've set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure. For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. So we see this guy chasing after those underlying things we were talking about, and finding those underlying things we were talking about, the happiness, the security, the comfort. I mean, look, we're looking at it right here, verse 9, my heart is glad, my whole being rejoices, my flesh dwells secure. Verse 11, your right hand are pleasures forevermore, there's fullness of joy in your presence. I mean, he has found the thing that we're all chasing after, that we all want, all the underlying messages of what wealth is going to bring us. This dude has found. And what does this hinge on? Verse 8, this starts all of it. I have set the Lord always before me. He's saying, I made the Lord and pursuing that relationship my ultimate thing, and then everything else that we all crave, that we all desire, and the Lord made us desire, the happiness and security, that all was credited to him after that. I mean, I feel it so much because I was so in it in Terry, and again, Terry's not bad, and I was just in it, and you can see it, and you can feel it tangibly. Juniors and seniors, if you haven't felt it yet, just like walk through the MLC on a test week and feel the anxiety in the air. Freshmen and sophomores, I'm sure you're already feeling it, and it's already coming your way. And this guy is saying, the psalmist right here is saying, man, set the Lord before you first. Pursue that first. Run after that first. Jesus came and died on the cross, not that we would get to go chase after a bunch of goods and try to fill our hearts with these petty things of the world and trust that that was going to take care of us and comfort us. Jesus came to earth, buried himself on a cross, that we could have a relationship with our Creator, with a God that calls himself Father to us, that is a good, good Father, and we could be a child of God. That Jesus came and did that and died for us, so we might be able to have access to that, have a personal relationship with him. And I'm not saying that if you have a personal relationship with Jesus, that you're going to be blessed with a bunch of money and happiness is going to come through a big house that he's going to give you and all that. No. Jesus' relationship and the relationship he gives you to God is the ultimate source of happiness, the ultimate source of security. And it's just locked in, I'm okay, I'm going to be taken care of because I have the creator of the universe who is my Father. That's what we trust in. That's what the psalmist is saying, that he trusts in. And we'll sing a song in a second. One of the lines in the song is, he rescued me so I can stand and sing, I am a child of God. Let that resonate. Let that sit on your hearts. Take away the idea that, man, I was made for more than this. This stuff's not gonna secure me, and it's not gonna make me happy ultimately. But sit in the fact that we were rescued so that we can stand and sing that we're a child of God. A child of God. The creator of the universe loves us enough to call us his sons and daughters. And the only people that have access to a king in a castle or in a palace are his kids. And we have that access to let people pray for the king and go to the palace courts for and wait for. We have that access to him in the middle of the night because he's our dad. He's our good, good father. So I'll close with this because we are past time. That's a great quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. C.S. Lewis quote. And it says, it would seem that our Lord finds our desires not too strong, but too weak. We are half-hearted creatures fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased. Don't buy the lie. Don't buy the lie that culture pushes on us, that Terry pushes on us, that you see all over this campus. Don't buy the lie that your happiness and security and comfort is going to come from you succeeding the next thing or getting more money or getting your retirement. Trust in the Lord and pursue that and make that the ultimate. And pursue that relationship more than anything else and trust that will fall into line after that. So let me pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for your goodness. Thank you that you allow us to call you Father, Lord, that you watch over us, that you comfort us, that you provide us security, that you made us to look for happiness, Lord. I thank you for your gift, Lord, of your Son. I thank you that we can dwell eternally secure because of what you did for us on the cross, Lord. I pray that we would take this idea that you pushed forth 2,000 years ago, that we're not going to be satisfied by just getting more goods and collecting more things and adding more things, Lord, that would hit home to us, Lord, that would comfort our hearts, knowing that the only thing we're called to on this earth is to pursue you more deeply, to know you more and look more like Jesus by the end of it, Father. So I pray that that would be a comfort to our souls as we go throughout this week, Lord, that you would throughout this week and throughout the rest of this year in our lives, Lord, that you would help us just to know you more, know you more, that we would love you more, and that we'd love other people better, that we'd just be able to truly trust in what you've done for us, and that will provide us with the security and happiness that we desire. In Jesus' name, amen.